Oh, it's the next day, and guess what sold? I love when things sell fast, but they sold within minutes of me listing them. How's it going, guys? Today is Monday. We had a busy weekend with some thrifting and sourcing and getting some more listings put up on eBay. Part of last week was the first ever Whatnot show that I ran. I sold some Hot Wheels that I found in a collection, and it went really, really well. So today on Monday, I'm planning a show tomorrow, Tuesday. Part of the plan for Whatnot might be to help move some Hot Wheels, obviously, but then in the future, any other collections that we come across, that would be a quick way to confidently offer a high enough dollar amount to get the seller interested. But then we know that it'll quickly turn over in the form of a live auction. Things might sell for a little less than they would if you waited out eBay, but eBay is such a long play that sometimes the amount of capital that's held up in your inventory gets a little scary, especially when you talk about buying big collections. So today is just kind of clean up and prep. As you can see, I was taking some listing photos down there, moving. I'll show you what else I'm working on in here. I've been tripping over this box of cassette tapes for a long time. Mr. Big, Madonna, just stuff that I bought for super cheap at a garage sale. So I think what I'm gonna do is just lot these up into one listing on eBay and hope that I price them cheap enough that they go, just because I don't have the time or patience to list each one individually and wait for it to sell just because a perfect buyer came along. And I think based on what I've seen in the past, decent sized lots like this do sell pretty well. And at this point, it's worth it just to get them to move and we don't have to keep tripping over them. So I'm going to finish doing that, take some photos of that, get a draft ready to list for tomorrow on eBay. So I've got the cars I'm going to list in tomorrow's show laid out here on the table. Kind of broke them down into pricing tiers just because while the show is running, it's a lot easier for me to grab based on how much the car is worth. Kind of get a feel for the show. If people are wanting to spend more, then I grab the expensive stuff. If I have a hard time getting the expensive stuff to sell, then I will grab the cheaper stuff and try to just get product to move. That's what the name of the game is. I got some more sticky notes because that helps keep the orders in order for shipping. And yeah, I'd say I'm pretty prepared. It's tomorrow, August 26th, Tuesday. This is a Monday when I'm recording this. And it's at 1 p.m. 1 a.m. would be pretty lonely, I think. But 1 p.m., I'm going to give it a shot and see if I can move some Hot Wheels and make a little bit of money. I'm going to now get back down on the photo section area and take some better pictures for Morgan that she had asked me to take. As you can see here, we've got some purses we need to sell. And part of that means good listing photos. So some of these over here on this end have already been listed and photos taken. These need to be processed a little further to decide if we're going to sell in bulk on Whatnot. If you guys would be interested in buying some of these purses on Whatnot, and let us know, because Morgan's not sure if she wants to try Whatnot with any of these purses or just strictly eBay and take the time to make all the listings. I'm gonna grab the purses I need and take some better pictures. So I figured I would share how we photo purses. For the most part, you wanna get the length of the drop of the purse if you're holding it on your shoulder. So you want to get that dimension there. You want to see the base of the purse and get a shot there. And I feel like this is the shot I always forget. And Morgan looks at my photos and is always saying, hey, you never did take that one. But apparently you ladies like to know the basic width of the purse. And that's the one I always forget. So on this purse, I had to pull this out of our inventory and take that picture to get the listing right on eBay. So it's the next day, and guess what sold? Those cassette tapes. I love when things sell fast, but they sold within minutes of me listing them. So that's not ideal. It usually makes you feel like you priced it way too low. So I had something interesting I want to talk to you about. Let me explain. 27 cassette tapes I listed for $24.99 plus I think $9 to ship, and they sold within less than an hour, which in the eBay world is lightning blistering fast. So two things potentially happen when that happens. Either you've got a hot item priced properly, or you've got a hot item that you didn't price properly. So not knowing much about what I consider vintage cassette tapes, did a little thinking and reflecting and thought, okay, instead of searching up 27 individual cassette tapes, how could I speed this up to learn? Did I miss something valuable? Did I make a mistake? Or were things just priced appropriately for what it was? So then I turned to AI. Good thing, bad thing? I don't know. We're all going to find out here probably in a few years. But I'll share the screen capture of what I sent to AI, ChatGPT to be more specific. What came back was, you can read on screen, but it basically said, you've got some decent stuff here that people might get $4 to $6 a piece for. And when you multiply that times how many you have listed, $96 is maybe what it's worth. And I thought, okay, I'm still not very interested in going and researching each individual cassette tape, but that's good to know. Perhaps that is the low-hanging fruit. You find a box of these things at a garage sale for, let's say, $5, and you know that you're not the end buyer. You're just someone who's going to turn this into some profit. So what you do is you create your listing to then find potentially somebody who sells cassette tapes individually or at shows or knows a collector or is a collector, to where I listed at about $1 per cassette tape. They're used to paying $4 to $5 per cassette tape. So to them, it's a win-win. I hear that there's $96 in total value. Maybe next time I'll creep up a little closer to half of that, just because I'll think to ask AI first instead of after the sale. But for the person that potentially is going to take these and turn them into some sort of profit, they spent $33.94 total with my asking price plus shipping plus whatever fees. Hopefully it's a good purchase for them, and I'm happy because it's not that difficult to package and ship, and I'm done stepping over them. So anybody that's curious, I'm going to do 3 bricks individually wrapped into bubble wrap here, and they should fit nicely into this box. Get my brick of cassette tapes there right in the middle. Come across again. Trying to keep things fairly snug. Little Scotch tape dispenser there and there. Come up corners. More Scotch tape. One thing I'll say, if you enjoy wrapping Christmas presents and birthday presents, then you might enjoy the majority of what it feels like reselling is, which is properly wrapping and packaging things. So now that that is done, as you can see, I got my other 3 bricks in there. I'll put them in there like this. Take some packing paper, push that into whatever voids exist. I probably don't need this whole sheet. I like to get that one down in half. Trying to take out any voids so these things cannot ship during shipment. We still ask people for a 5-star review just to get some credentials built up. I'll just put it right there on the lid. So that one's done and ready to ship. So the Whatnot show ended. I did about an hour and sold around $180 worth of Hot Wheels. After fees and giveaways and anything else tacked in, that comes to be about $150. So not bad for an hour. These cars were not free, however. I did have to buy them at some point, part of my collection that I'm selling off. All in all, it was an okay show. The bidding was a little bit slower than last time, but it was a Fast and Furious theme. We had Fast and Furious playing in the background. All those cars are the ones that sold, and they're going into 9 shipments. I think that'll put a bow on for today. Just kind of behind the scenes, just a little peek into a Tuesday of a guy who's trying to do this full-time, stay-at-home dad, and pretty much enjoying it, to say the least. So thanks for watching. Morgan will be in the next one. She's excited to come see the Whatnot results. I gotta get her to sell purses on Whatnot. It's just gotta happen. Make some